Hello, welcome to today's podcast episode. It's going to be really short. I just have a thought that I really wanted to share. I've talked about gene keys before, Gene keys by Richard Rudd, and it's a personality type system, and it's kind of a step beyond human design, but similar to human design using the same kind of systems. And as I was looking through mine, it's called your hologenetic profile. You can get your free hologenetic profile online. I was looking through mine, and one of my numbers, as I was reading about it, everything has a shadow and everything has a gift, and everything has a city being SIDDHI, which is like a spiritual power. And so I was reading about my gift and I was reading about my shadow, and the shadow, which is a polarity, everything is a duality. My shadow is division. And I started to read more and more about division. And the thought that came to me was like hierarchy. And in that moment, I knew like shame is a hierarchy. Shame is any moment where I'm feeling like humans are on a hierarchy. Then I am better than you because of the color of my skin, or you are better than me because you have more wealth than I do, or I am better than you because I find myself more aesthetically beautiful or something, or you are better than me because you are smarter, you have more education. We do this for all of the things. We do this for race, for wealth, for social status, for fame. There's so many areas in which we are deciding that we are divided. We are deciding that we are split up and down, all the way up, all the way down. That is division. That is the opposite of unity. And what I realized was that the division starts within us first. In a moment, I can just be like divided, like it just happens. I am divided within my own self. And when I am divided within my own self, then I create more division around me. I want to take this back to shame. How I talk about shame is like emotional activation, right? We have a big trigger that happens within. It doesn't have to be from something significant outside of us. In fact, something happened recently, just in the last couple of weeks, that was like really seemingly small, where somebody just mentioned something to me or asked me to do something. And I immediately was like, I just felt so much emotion inside. And I had the time in the space, because it was actually at the meditation retreat that I was at. I had the time in the space where I was able to just pause and just sit there for an hour and be like, hey, what happened? What triggered me about that? And it brought up all of this stuff that was so under the surface that had nothing to do with what was happening on the surface of the question that she asked me or how I responded. There was so much more. It was so much deeper than that. And in that moment, I was divided between myself, me and me. There was some shame that was bubbling up. And I want you to think of shame as any amount of inadequacy, any amount of me not feeling of worth, of wholeness, of fullness. That the division that happens is I'm divided from my own sense of wholeness. And when that happens, then I usually respond in a way that creates more division for myself and for people around me. And as I sat there and I felt through this experience that seemed so silly and so insignificant, but yet was so significant for me on the inside, I just sat with myself and I just cried and I just felt. And I did all the subconscious practices I do here. If you're new to this podcast, you can go listen to any podcast episode that starts with subconscious practice. And I take you through these. But I did my own practice and I asked myself, what age does this feeling feel? And it was 3. And I thought, what feeling does this feel like? Like, what is this? And as I sat and started feeling, some memories started popping in, and I recognized that it came from a very young age in childhood, and that it kind of persisted throughout my life and was still here so strong under the surface. But really, what's happening in that moment is some sort of a division where I'm not feeling unified within my own self, and then I respond in that way in the outer world. And so I just want to offer that, like, hierarchy isn't real. I mean, it's real as in it's outside of us and people do it, but it's not true to us. We are all whole. We all have wholeness within us. We all have goodness within us. We all have fullness within us. That is who we are. That's our baseline. And the only reason it doesn't seem like that's true sometimes is because we forget it ourselves and we act outside of that truth. We act in a way that's incongruent to our nature. And the work that I think we do here, that I hope we do here on this podcast and on my Substack and in my Instagram and in real life and in the coaching sphere, is to bring us back into congruence, to bring us back to feeling, thinking, doing in a way that feels so true to that wholeness, that feels so in integrity with that wholeness and that fullness within. And I don't think we will get to stay there forever. I think we live in a world where disturbances are going to happen and hurt is going to happen and wounds are there. But I think we can move through that in a way that is so peaceful and so fruitful and can get us to, maybe it doesn't feel peaceful and fruitful in the moment, but we can get to that in the end. And I just want to offer that it's real and it's tangible and it can happen. Thanks for being here and listen to my thoughts, and I'll see you next time.